Hey guys, so I'm here out back at my mom's house. I'm actually here because my washer has some sediment in it and there's just like dirt in it and I'm not really sure why. So before I get that fixed, I'm just washing some loads of laundry at her house and she's actually not here, she's out of town, so I'm just using her washer. But I wanted to show you guys some things that I've started doing with my stuff. So I'm always looking for like new pots and little things that I like because I'm big into plants and I love pots, I love plants. So I am always on the lookout for new pots and stuff that I can use. So let me show you what I've got. So I found this pot a couple days ago at an antique store and I just loved it. Like, it just has that old rustic look. It's just so pretty. It's just kind of plain. I just loved it and I thought a plant would look beautiful just kind of draping out of it. And I actually already had a plant to put in it, which fit absolutely perfectly actually. So I put this pothos in it and it's kind of growing down some, but not like a whole lot. I know it will grow down a little more with time, but I just think it looks so cute. And that's one of my favorites that I got. I also have been kind of collecting some little colorful teapots to put plants in, just because I just think it's so cute, one, and two, because I think it's so cool how technically you can bottom water it if you need to, if it's like a plant's preferred way of being watered. I think Calathea is kind of one of them. It likes to be bottom watered. They're very specific. That's why it's kind of struggling a little bit. It's struggled for a while, but it is pretty full still. So if they prefer to be bottom watered, you can actually just water it through the little spout, which I think is so cool. But also for ones like this, if you water it from the top, I don't have any holes cut in the bottom. So what you can actually do is put some rocks at the bottom, just however many rocks you want to put in there, and it kind of, since there's layers and there's a little bit of space in there, it can kind of act as a filtration system for the water, so it'll kind of stay down there, and then the roots can always suck it back up whenever the plant needs to be watered. So it's almost like a self-watering if you just let some be in there, but you also don't want to like super soak and overwater it because it can still get root rot. And that's the whole reason for having the rocks in the bottom, is to kind of prevent that. So I did that for both of these. This one, it just has its own pot in there. It has a 2-pot system, so this one doesn't have holes in the bottom. And then this one, when I bought it in, if I can separate it, it does have holes, so it's been draining into here, and I just watered this, I think, today, so that's why it kind of has some water in there. But I just think it's super cute, so I've been keeping my eye out at like Goodwills and antique stores. I think I found both of these at Goodwills, which I think is super cute. This one's kind of two-sided. It has different patterns on each side. But I found these at Goodwills for $2.50 each, and I just thought they were so perfect for my plants. Since this one's kind of taller, I wanted one that kind of drapes down, so I loved my ivy in there. And then I wanted one that kind of just spurred out the top of this one since it's kind of short and fat, and my Calathea, my White Fusion Calathea, just did that, and it just looked so pretty to me. But yeah, so this one's a little taller, so I also wanted something that might kind of vine down, which I'm super happy with the way that this one is, and ignore my one little yellow leaf. But yeah, so I just wanted to kind of come on here and encourage you guys that, you know, if you see something that you like, you can always make it work. So I'm super excited for these, and I'll show you my current project. So it's actually a pretty cloudy day today, and it's been on and off raining. That kind of explains the frizz in my hair today, but I am gonna try to plant some of my plants that really need some repotting before it starts really raining, so let's try it out. So for my project today, I took this out of a Christmas cactus that I had, and it's just so full in the pot. So I wanted to break off a piece and plant it in this that I also got in an antique store. Need to clean it up a little bit, but I just love how antique it looks and how kind of rusted and just worn it looks. So I'm really excited about it. And it blooms a little more towards Christmas. It's a Christmas cactus. I think it has one little bloom on the end of that. So I'm going to plant this in here. It's just a little piece. And then I also have this one that's more of a Thanksgiving cactus. And I'm going to plant it on the other side. So I'll just have them both kind of spurring out of here. And with a little bit of water, I think that they will kind of stand up a little bit more. So that'll fix that. But I think it'll be cool because this one has red blooms and this one has pink blooms. And then I can have them both in here. They'll bloom at different times. So they'll bloom a little more often. And they will have different color blooms, which I think will be kind of pretty in here. I think the pop of color with this dark color will look really good. So I'm super excited about it. So I told y'all some about my cactus. So I'm just gonna plant this one in here and the other one on the other side. Hoping that I have enough soil. Oh yeah, I have plenty. It's really windy right now too. It's almost like the wind before the storm. Kind of missing with all this soil. I'll have to sweep after. Shaking that off, breaking it up a little bit. Right. I think I need smaller gloves because most of this isn't even my fingers. And it's kind of hard to actually feel what I'm touching, but they do keep my nails clean, which is nice. So I pretty much finished repotting this. So this is what it looks like in my pot. It almost looks like pigtails. These will stand up once I get them a little more water and water them kind of consistently. I also totally forgot, because this one does not have a drainage system. I forgot to put some of my rocks. I have a bag of rocks down in the bottom, so I just have soil, so I'll have to be really careful watering it to make sure that I don't overwater it and give it root rot. So these are a little thin in here also, but I know that they will kind of spread out as they grow more, and each one will probably have some other little ones that grow up next to it, and in due time I bet this will be a full pot. So just so you can see all 4 in one shot, I think they look pretty. It's funny because sometimes I want a little pop of color, and I think that's what the teapots are, and sometimes I just want more of a bland, just classic, antique, neutral style, and I think that's what these two are. So I love having those mixtures, and I'm excited about them. So it's still not raining here, but it is still very cloudy and windy. It's kind of that windy before the rain, like the storm and the downpour. So I'm really hoping that it doesn't while I do this, but I wanted to work on another little craft. So since it's almost Christmas, I love to do a little thing where I use acrylic paint and baking soda, and I mix them to give them a little bit of texture. The baking soda kind of gives it like almost like a clumpy texture. And then I love to paint a candlestick, and in honor of whatever season it is, like I did some brown ones for the fall, and I'm excited to do a red one this year for the table. So I will show y'all how to do that. So it's really simple to do this project. Really all you need is like a little plate and your candlestick, some baking soda, and your paint color of choice. So I'm going to go ahead and squirt some on this plate. It almost looks more pinky than I would like. I was hoping for more of a deep red. Let's see if you can see that. But I guess it's not that bad, but it's not my favorite. We'll see how it turns out. So then I pour some baking soda kind of beside it to mix it in. Just kind of coat it in there. Slowly just mix a little more into the paint, kind of give it some texture. I'm definitely going to need some more. It's actually a little prettier once I've spread it out a little bit. There we go. Just keep mixing it in some. So we'll start out with this. It might not be as clumpy as I want it to be. Maybe I'll add a little bit more in. Hey Maggie. Hey there. Okay, we'll try this out. And then you just start painting your piece. I'm going to start from the bottom up. So adding this baking soda in, it really just gives it more of a texture, kind of like a sandy texture, and I think it makes it really pretty. My favorite is to just use like a matte acrylic paint. I just really like matte finish instead of like a glossy finish, so that's usually what I go with. Hopefully I don't get paint on the deck. I'm going to set that down so I can paint a little bit more of this. So this is the finished product. I love how you can kind of see the texture in there. It's kind of grainy. It's even prettier when it dries because it kind of just makes it even a little bit more matte. I'm not super fond of the color that I chose. I think it's way too bright of a red. That's not really what I was wanting. I was wanting something like almost as deep as this paintbrush, maybe. Yeah, I would say so. And if you can kind of tell, it's just a little lighter than I would want. But maybe it'll look better in like a dark room. And since it gets dark at like 5:45 these days, around 6, it might look pretty in our dining room. So I'm really hoping for that. But other than that, I really like the shape of this candlestick. I believe I got it at a Goodwill also, probably for just a couple dollars. And I just love like repainting them for whatever season it is and using them as decoration around the house. So I will have to show you guys what it looks like on the table. So this is the final product of the red candlestick that I did. It actually goes pretty well with the reds around it, so I'm actually pretty happy about that. But I just wanted to show you guys the finished product of where it's going to be and what it looks like. And I think it goes very well with the whole setup for my centerpiece on my table. So we're ready for Christmas. So I really felt the need to share these words that kind of came to my mind today. Before I started reading my Bible, I was just sitting here and I just felt a flood of just words that I wanted to write down, just fill my mind. So I wanted to share it with you guys because it's a great reminder, and it's totally something that I needed today and something that I'm sure that you might need a reminder of as well. Lord, my Lord, as I fight my battles today, I will remember that you are here with me. In every waking moment or dark passageway, you are with me. Even when you seem so far away and your voice isn't heard over the loud thoughts in my head, you've never left and you never will. You go through every trial alongside me, praising joyfully with every good moment and crying out in every bad. You are sensitive, that's where I get it from. You weep when I weep. You hear my cries. You hold every tear in your righteous hand, never forgetting or downplaying any of them. Before I go into every fight that gets thrown my way today, help me to remember that you struggled every struggle here on earth. There's not one temptation or fight that I will go through that you haven't already. You already won these fights and wars and stand beside me as I do the same. Yet this time, with you beside me, I will overcome anything in my way, all the whispers of the enemy, because my focus is on you and you alone. Standing on your words and promises, I know you will not leave me confused, but instead, I have peace in the midst of the storm, knowing that you have a plan for me, a perfect plan. You turn all things, even the trials and heartache, for your good. And when I go through these trials and heartaches, I will have peace knowing that, and knowing that you are in ultimate control, not lacking in anything. So I just really felt the need to share that today and to just remind you guys that he is with you every step of the way, just no matter what you're going through. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching today. I loved doing my little crafts, and I hope that you did too. And it wasn't just planting, it was actually another little craft that I like to do as a seasonal thing. So let me know what you think about it, and thanks for watching.